Alright, here we are. Here we are. So, we are in the Airbus A320 CFM winglets. We are inbound to Scottsdale, Arizona, the RNP runway 21. You could see at this point we're headed direct to B-Ball, which is right here on the southern side of the airport, and we're going to go all the way around and cut in front of these mountains and do the approach on a right turn arc. We have a really interesting approach today in that it's an RNP 0.16. Decision height will be 1,993 feet, or close to 500 feet above the ground. Touchdown zone's 1,500 feet. MSA around the area is 8,900, so you can see we're gonna get down there pretty quick. 6,000, 5,000, 4,000. William is going to be the intermediate fix, and then our final approach fix will be Edgar. Initial approach fix will be Fryman at 5,000. We'll get in on that. Not a whole lot of twisting and turning. I decided to go this way instead of the squirrel. Anyway, I thought this would be a good look of what we're trying to avoid here in the mountains. So we're about ready to make our right-hand turn on B-Ball. Again, we are standard atmospheric conditions, 2 winds are 0, and of course we don't have clouds. Temperature is 1.5. So that being said, let's go ahead and do the performance coming into Scottsdale runway 21, so landing to the southwest. You can see weather conditions are dry, as well as standard atmospheric conditions. Aircraft config, we're going to be coming in at, let's just call it 64,000, 64 tons. I can actually go to low. Let's go medium brake. So we're going to be landing close to max weight. Max weight here is 64,500. So we're going to be landing very close to max weight. So we got auto brake is medium. What's interesting now, there are no speed recommendations. There's no speed max. There's nothing. So we're going to really need to control the speed. This is the first time we've done this approach. So the Airbus gets kind of slided a little bit here in this face-off, in that we don't really know what speeds we're going to want. We'll probably want to be fully configured. Probably flaps. Well, we'll probably want the gear down. I would say on our way to Edgar, so probably 2 miles in front of Edgar, so to about 7 miles out. We probably want to have all of our gear, flaps 1 and 2, and then we'll go 3, 4 by the time we get to Edgar. We'll see. I may actually throw out the flaps earlier. We shall see. Let's go ahead right now and go ahead and set us down. Let's get to 3,300. So I'm putting in our final approach point altitude. We're going to VNAV it all the way down, and then we're going to end up manipulating the speed, because we have no speed restrictions. By the time we get out on William, we definitely need to be, I'm going to say 170, 180. So, we'll see. Or just talking out loud. All right, so we have seatbelts are on, landing lights are on. Let's go ahead and do a quick on the checklist. Approach checklist, barrel ref, we're 92, 92 all the way across the board. Seatbelts are on, minimums. We're set to 1,993 on the barrow, and the auto brake is set to medium. Engine mode selector is on norm. Let's go ahead and get our op descent. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and get our managed descent.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for landing.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and start slowing us down as well to 210. No sense trying to do these turns at 250. As far as our perf page goes, everything's in on the approach. You see clean if we went right now to managed speed, it'd be 213. Put out the slats, we get to 190. We could do that actually. And then go to manipulate our speed if we have to go to flaps 2. So why don't we go ahead and activate the approach phase. And let's go ahead and put it to managed. We'll go down to green dot, which we're already at green dot. All right, now that brings us in the LDEV and the VDEV. What I'll do before we get to William, I'm going to go ahead and put the slats out. That'll get us to 189 on the turn. Go ahead and take a look around. Not much there. We got Winter the Dolphin. A couple things I want to point out as well. The VGSI and the RNP glide path are not coincident, so we've got basically an angle of the vertical glide slope indicator is going to be 4 degrees. We're going to be coming down at 4.53, which probably is another reason why I should probably start earlier pulling out stuff, because it's not a configuring earlier because it's not a 3.00. We're going to have a reel and a PAPI off to the left. Mist will be 5,000 straight out. So because we're coming in shallower, we should probably expect to see 3 reds, if not 4. I don't know. We'll see. Probably 3 reds. Not for category D. Not for category Delta. So Alpha Bravo Charlie, which fits in our world. Might have some issues. Might have some issues. With the 737-800. So we may have to look at that. Again, those are figured at max landing weights. Those categories. As you can see, it's a nice gradual approach in here, 300 foot a minute. It's not too high end. The airport's about 20 miles off, or 1 o'clock. It's going to be set in here. Right here, I can't quite see it, but it's going to be set in there. Alright, let's go ahead and get the terrain on, just so we can see what's going on here. So you can kind of tell what we're going straight over, right? I don't have any, don't believe I have any scenery there now. You could tell it's all default. That's not the airport we're going into. Just want to clarify that. Phoenix. There are no commercial carriers going into Scottsdale, to my knowledge, so this is a hypothetical flight, Allegiant coming in. A couple things we want to point out here on the prog page. You can see 0.3. I'm curious. I'm going to go ahead and hit the approach button. So we've got Des Final, approach nav. Very curious if it flips to a 0.16. You can see RNAV AR approach. Not sure why it says minimum RNP 0.60 when we don't have any authorization here. I mean, it says 0.16 here. I don't see any other option to do 0.30, 0.60. Maybe that's on the initial approach. So you can see the dark bold line is really what we need for the 0.16. So We'll see. If we don't get it before William, we'll input it manually. All right, approach checklist is complete. 64. We can actually take a look at 63 point. Let's just go 6. Let's go ahead and we'll go medium brake still. Again, max landing weight is going to be 64.5 tons, so we are just about a ton shy. Alright, so the approach light is armed. Of course, we've had the approach activated for a while. On the turn here, we're going to go ahead and pop out the slat. So let's go ahead and as soon as we pass class, we'll go ahead and throw flaps 1. And that would slow us down to 189. Okay, flaps 1. Speed check, we're good. So we're approaching William. I'm going to wait until we're about 2 miles in front of William. To see if we've got the requisite required. I am going to pull out our flaps 2 and then go to gear before William. Actually, we're going to go flaps 2. Hold 170, gear right before Edgar. That's right. That's what I'm looking to do. We're still sitting on managed all the way around. All right, we're 4 from William. Still haven't changed the required yet. Alright, we're within 2. Flaps 2, speed check, we're good. Let's go to 170, pull it. Let's see if we pass William, if it goes or not. So you can see the mountains right here that are of course impeding us from a straight in. Final app. Nope. Let's do 0.16. There we go, 0.16. Alright, we're 3 from Edgar. let's go ahead and get our landing gear down. Arm the spoiler. Get our lights on. Let's go managed so we don't spool up. Flaps 3. Speed check. Flaps full. Speed check. Alright. Landing checklist, decam memo. Landing no blue. VLS check. 134, 139. Looking good. Let's begin our right hand turn. There we go, right into the mountains. Any day now. There we go. See the runway. Runway's looking pretty good, avoiding the mountains. Again, we're about 1,000, just 1,000 kilos under max landing weight. So pretty heavy. All good. How's she doing? Really nice. Remember, I'm not going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot until the last second because I want to see how well it does. We have an 8,200 foot runway, just so you know, with auto brake set at medium. We're projected about 5,000. So it looks like we're a little off. Let's see if it brings us back. It does.
500. 100 above.
I'm not seeing, I see a white and I see a red.
Minimum.
Continuing. Yeah, it's looking good. A little steep.
100. Retard 5.
Whee! Alright, spoilers, reverse green, decel, 70. There we go. Manual braking. Get it down to 10. We'll take the next one. Alright, so that was good. Remember, right up to the threshold is FENIX. After the threshold is all pilot error. So, excuse the landing. All good. All right, so let's go ahead and come over here. Taxi line. Da, 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 da. We'll come over here. All right, guys, so that's that. I thought I handled it like a champ. It was definitely, let's get the flaps up. Let's go ahead and get our spoilers set up right. So, yeah, I thought it was all good. let's go ahead and jump into the Boeing, and let's see what the 737-800 series can do on this one, and then we'll be able to do a good comparison afterwards. All right, here we are. All right, we're on our way into B-ball. Again, maximum landing weight is 66,000, just call it 400 kilos. We're at 65,300 right now, so we're gonna be landing around 64.8, 64.9. So we're gonna be below maximum landing weight. But a couple things, let's go ahead and do our, so to back up, we're in the PMDG 737-800. I do want to point out though, we're going to go ahead and go 64.8. We're going to do flaps config. We're going to go 40. We're going to go max auto, all in. We got standard pressure or standard atmospheric conditions, just so we're keeping it same. $141 still on the VREF. Can I get that to be any different? No. All right, we're off on B-ball. Now we're going towards our first or second waypoint. So B-ball, now we're going into Nave. See Nave right there. All right, so we're 141, so we know 141 I believe is a category D. And even if we pumped up our weight, let's just say we were 66.3. And see how it keeps coming up. So we're actually, and that definitely would be what, a category D, Delta. So we're just gonna go 8. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and hit flaps 40. So 141 on the ref. So VREF 141, flaps 40. All right, so we've got the heading of 212, which is our runway heading. Oh, by the way, we need to put in, let's go auto brake 3. Just so we have that. We got the flaps 40, we know what we're doing. And we're gonna land at 64,800. So 146 will be what we're coming in on. Alright, so let me go ahead and go down to, let's do our final approach point, which is Edgar at 3,300. And let's set our Barrow. It's going to take a little while. So I got to twist that knob all the way to 1993. You could see it on the PFD cranking. Missed approach would be 5,000 feet. Straight out to 212 to Leslie. We got a reel and a pappy. Alright, Barrow is set. Auto brakes are set to 3. Good. 3,300 is set. A couple things. Let's go ahead and get us down here. Again, don't know if we have to do this. We're going to do it anyway. We've seen plenty of videos that said do it. Put 108 outside the VOR range. Let's go to Prague. Nav, page 2, DME update, go off. Make sure that GPS update is on. Alright, we've reached our top of descent, so we are now on our way. So we go back to the progress page, 1, 2, 3. We can see RNP 0.16 is already in. And you can see the range bars are in play. Now let's do the vert at 125. Alright, we just passed nav, vert 125, so now you can see we tighten up all the way around. VPath, LNAV, LNAV, VNAV, we're good. We're going to leave it in LNAV, VNAV for as much as we can. We're trying not to do speed intervent. We are going to try not to do speed intervent. So you can see at class we'll be at 250. At William we'll be at 206. Edgar 146. So prior to Edgar, prior to the final approach fix, we need to be completely configured. So in between William and Edgar, completely configured. Somewhere though in between class and William will be a decel. And we'll get there. So we should hang up at 5,000 feet, even though yeah, we've set 3,300. So Fryman, away we are. So our minima, let's just call it 2,000 feet. Minima plus 50, what is it, 2,050? Can't really do it here, so we'll set 2,100 once we get within 2 miles of Edgar. Once we get to about 2,400 feet, we'll go to 5,000 on the missed approach. Yeah, you can see the decel. You could definitely see the decel right here. And that is in between class and William. I'm gonna keep the let's go to Des. Alright, here we come on Fryman. We should begin our descent again down to 4,000 for first. Once we pass first, get closer to class, we should be able to see ourselves, but I am going to leave it off. Well, actually, I'm going to put it on because we had it on for the Airbus, so it's good for one, we're going to do for the other. There's the Phoenix Airport, downtown Phoenix. Scottsdale is going to be over here by these mountains. Alright, so we've got all of our landing lights on, seatbelts are on. We got the nav set. We've got the DME off. We've got the VOR set to 108.0s in both. Minimums are set. Our landing weight calculations are all done. And we're going flaps 40. We're going to try to leave it on VNAV as long as possible. You can see how it's already plugged in. By the time we get to Edgar, it should be at 146. So that'll be on a straightaway to Edgar, and then we begin our right arc to Donahoe. 212 is in the heading for our runway already. And RNP is 0.16. We can see it already set, which is good. We don't have to do it. It's already in. But we're checking that. We're cross-checking that. We see it down here on our legs page. We could also check it on the prog to the last page. And there it is. Make sure your vert is set. See, we're slowing up now as we're approaching first. As we approach class, I am going to slow down a little bit. Well, you know what? I mean, it may help it a little bit. We're at 4,000. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and set it to 2,100 feet. Still have the V path, we're good. Alright, at this point I'm going to slow down to 230. We'll put in we'll go flaps 2. Alright, speed check. Flaps 2. Let's go flaps 5, speed check. So you can see 173 now is where it's going to go based on flaps 5, which is fine. Decel, we need to get to 146. But William, you see 206. Well, we've already hit some flaps, so that's where, once we hit the decel, it's not really going to do anything because we've already hit our flaps. We've taken speed intervent off. 173 is where we're going. We're flaps 5. But we're going to keep it here. Making our big right turn over here by these mountains. 2100 is set. We're still at 0.16, ANP 0.05. We're going to go gear down in front of Edgar. So probably once we pass William, we'll start thinking about gear down. And we'll go 15. And then we got to go 25, and then we got to be 40, all before Edgar. So we got a lot of stuff to do. All right, here we go. All right, here's our turn. We got 5 miles to go for Edgar. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go gear down. We're going to arm the speed brake. We're going to go ahead and get our light on, make sure the seat belts, everything, all the lights are on. Let's go continuous. 15, flaps 15. $171. All right, let's go to flaps 25. We're approaching that speed. We're good. 153 is what we want to approach. All right, flaps 40. We're on our way down. Flaps 40. You could see we just are touching the range. We just recovered it. Turning on the record button. There we go. There's our turn. We're fully configured. We're really close.
Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain. Terrain, terrain. Pull up. Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain.
All right, we're at 146, which is what we're good for our final. We're at 2,700. Once we get to about 2,400, I'm going to spin this to 5,000. There we are, right out the window. Alright, we still got VNAV path. Still online. Nice job, PMDG. Flaps 40.
500. Approaching minimums. Minimums.
It's on the money. Continuing.
300.
It's looking really good. Everything's stable. We're on the money.
200.
Alright. Plane's mine.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Whoop. I'll apply manual braking. Alright, 70 knots. Speed brakes deployed. Let's go ahead and put up the flaps. Well, I'll leave it down for the replay. Outstanding. What is that? Fuel? We'll leave everything down. Well, I gotta tell you, PMDG was money on that one. I mean, they did a good job. Did a really good job on that one. Tough to say who's gonna win out on that. That was really good. What do you guys think? Who had the better approach? FENIX or PMDG? Interestingly, you know, we're borderline cat delta here, but we went ahead and shot it anyway, and I thought it handled it like a champ. We did flaps 40, which it got us to a VREF of 141, given our weight. So we were about 64,800 with a max landing weight of 66,400. So all was good. All right, guys, fantastic. Well, leave a comment. Let us know what you think, whether it was PMDG or the FENIX. Who had the better approach on this one into Scottsdale? All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and go into OT. Go ahead and take a look at the landings, and we'll go from there. You guys have a good one. Till next time, blue skies, warm tailwinds. Buster, take it away.